Welcome to finals of our first Pokemon Champions tournament at Psycho Turtle in Pico Rivera, California. Not that many Pokemon Champions tournaments in the world so far, and we have two of the best players in the world here playing in the finals.
So true. It is insane.
It's such an incredible level of skill that we have here. Even just in the top four with you.
Oh, thank you.
having lost to Shane off of his incredible LA run.
Yeah, Shane, I mean, as you're going to see right there, Shane's going to be on the left with that Charizard, Garchomp, Farigiraf, Sylveon, Incineroar, and Aerodactyl. Benny on the right with Scoville and Aerodactyl, Kingambit, Basculegion, Sylveon, and Sneasler. I think this kind of sums up how I think the meta is shaping to be at the moment. Got a lot of Garchomp, a lot of Charizard, Sylveon, like the fairy, kind of like a fairy dragon core, or fairy double dragon if you count Charizard as a dragon, which it's not, but whatever. And Benny on the other side, that Scoville team's been popping up quite a bit. I was running a variation of it, just Garchomp over the Sneasler, and I think it's actually super good into so many of the matches that we've seen. I mean, Benny currently is undefeated, which is insane because Scoville eats so many hits, and this is a pretty even matchup on paper. I think that the thing with Shane that makes it really tricky is this is a very heavy support Aerodactyl, so it's got Tailwind and it's got Wide Guard. It's not got any Protect. And Benny's side, you do have to, if you're playing that Scoville team, you got to watch out. Is it going to be the Tailwind Aerodactyl? Is it going to be the Trick Room for a draft? One of the two, yes, but if you get it wrong, it could lead to a disastrous start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you look at so much in the meta right now, and it is just really good physical attackers. Shane is kind of not exactly in the same direction. I mean, you have the Aerodactyl, but as you mentioned, a lot more support focused. You do have the Garchomp, but apart from that, Charizard, Sylveon, Incineroar can't be burned. Like, it's a lot better of a matchup into the Scoville, so I wonder if Benny will opt more into the Aerodactyl side of things, at which point it'll end up being Tailwind Wars, potentially trying to get Trick Room up in front of it. I'm curious how that angle of things goes.
Not to mention, too, that with the Trick Room option, you have Sylveon, but we're not going to see it. We're going to see Aerodactyl Sylveon lead on Benny's side and Aerodactyl Charizard lead on Shane. This is exactly what happened at the very end of our last game, me and Shane. It's a mirror here. But it is a very good lead on Benny's side, I would say, because you do have potential for quick attack to knock out the Focus Sash on the Aerodactyl on Shane's side. But if you do, there's always the mind games of, are you going to Wide Guard, are you going to Tailwind? And that's a bit rough, especially because if you get it wrong, you could be hit with a Heat Wave or potentially Weather Ball, which does an absurd amount of damage to the sun from that Charizard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's it's going to be a really interesting spot to be in. We are going to see the instant Mega on Benny's Aerodactyl. I think that makes a lot of sense just because I think we're not seeing Scoville.
Yeah, Scoville's a really tough one to bring in here. It doesn't really add much, especially because the only physical attacker that you really want to burn would be that Garchomp. And other than that, you're just going to eat hits and not get much output back.
And I guess it's worth mentioning as well that Benny is running no weather, so there's not a ton of reason not to set up the sun immediately, and we're just going to go for Wide Guard and probably damage from the Charizard. Oh, and it will be the dual Wing Beat going right into that Charizard. I'm curious if there is a double up from Benny that can actually get a KO here onto the Charizard. We will see the Weather Ball.
It's going to do an absurd amount.
This will do a lot.
At least, yeah,
it's not going to KO, though. And Sylveon does have a chance to go for a hit now, and it's the Hyper Beam into the Charizard. That's going to take it out. Kaboom.
My favorite move this format.
It's awesome. It's so sick. You using it earlier was really sick. That move,
I love Hyper Beam so much. It does put a little bit of pressure here on Shane because you obviously have this attacking Aerodactyl on the field, ready to go. Mega, not intimidated or anything, but there's a really nice option here, which is that Farigiraf. The nice thing is you basically get Trick Room up if you want it, and the fact that this Aerodactyl on Benny's side is super fast. It is generally, most Aerodactyls run max speed. This is a Jolly Aerodactyl, so you're going to be relatively fast. You don't have to worry about a Hyper Beam from Sylveon. You don't have to worry about Rock Slide flinches. You can literally just sit there and set up with Wide Guard and Trick Room, and after that, focus on that Sylveon before you bring out your own if you're Shane. It's going to take, I don't know what the ideal back end would be for Benny. I do think the Kingambit would have been if it's, but it's only got dark moves.
Oh, Rock Slide, and it misses the Farigiraf. It does tag the arrow, breaking that sash, bringing it down nearly there.
I'm surprised we didn't see wide guard just to avoid a potential flinch.
I guess just to try to get damage down, and getting rid of the Sylveon is pretty big. I mean, that's the thing is Shane... Ooh, and that's a crit. The big thing here is that Shane does need damage here to get back into this, and so doing anything too passive is a little bit of a problem. Gets rid of the Aerodactyl as well. That's a lot of damage that Shane was just able to put out that turn.
It's funny because there was another interaction in the last game where the Psychic focused on a Basculegion, and I think we might see an exact same thing here. Basculegion in a rough spot. Because Sneasler, I actually think Sneasler is the best mon for Benny at the moment, because you are basically banking on stopping Trick Room, and you can go gambling with Dire Claw. You think the Basculegion, it's Scarf, and the nice thing is Aerodactyl can't really do anything to stop it from getting hit.
Yeah.
So a Wave Crash is good if you want to stall at the Sun. You have 3 more turns. You could go for Last Respects if you want to bet on something in the back. It could be Incineroar, it could be Sylveon. Again, gambling.
Yeah.
50-50 there.
Well, and that's the tough thing is that Last Respects cannot touch Forage, and so you are going to need to figure out something else for that, especially, I mean, in Benny's favor, though, this is the Sash Sneasler, so it will not drop to 1 Psychic move from Forage.
The one thing, too, you got to watch out for is, I think the Wave Crash here is just going to go into...
Makes a lot of sense.
You kind of have to, and hope that you get some sort of status condition.
Yeah.
But you also got to
Any of the statuses is fine here, I think.
Literally.
Because even just damage onto Forage is perfectly worth it. It's going to be close combat. I don't hate that. It is damage. And that's not a bad chunk of damage. It depends on what'll be in the back. Ooh, and the Poison Touch does activate.
That is helpful.
We were saying a status would help, and that is a status. It makes it a bit more susceptible to a Wave Crash when it comes to that time. There is the Trick Room there. What is in the back?
I'm guessing Sylveon. It's gotta be, right? That would just be the most ideal situation because it basically wins you the game if you're Shane. And it is, yeah, this Sylveon has been putting in so much work all day. Hyper Voice here, not going to be able to pick up a Basculegion, however, it is locked into Wave Crash, so it's not going to be doing too much damage onto you. I think your ideal play is to just go for the double up into the Sneasler. It's obviously the more threatening one of the two, and you have to watch out for Psychic because it is 4 times weak. So
yeah,
it is Focus Sash, but when partnered with a Hyper Voice, is not going to really help you there.
I guess I just wonder if Sneasler goes for a Protector, but the thing is you can Hyper Voice with Sylveon, and you're still tagging Bask.
Yeah, and Basculegion, like, it's good, but I don't think it's going to be able to do that much to the Farigiraf and the Sun. I think you're going to get at least another turn on. Honestly, not a bad play would be to go for the Psychic into the Basculegion and a Hyper Voice, considering that I think wins you no matter what the game, because Sneasler can only take one or the other, and then it's going to get hit no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to break Sneasler's Sash at some point, and it is the double there. Does it pick up the Bask? It does.
Yeah, it was just a safe play.
Real nice call from Shane there. It is a safe play, but it's also a good call.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a reason that Shane is here in the finals. And at this point, Benny, you can play the triple protect if you want to try quadruple
protect.
If you want to try it.
What, 1 in 27 on the last one? On just the last one? I don't know about this one, dog.
Feels bad. Feels bad to play that, but hey, you gotta try it.
Yeah, you don't have to. But, well, we're not going to have to see it at the very least. So that'll clean up game number 1 in a moment, eventually.
Hyper Voice / Psychic hits.
Yeah, as soon as, and both of those moves are basically enough to deal with it by themselves. I like what Shane had. I mean, I like what Benny had there in the sense that he was able to clear out the Charizard immediately, but it just kind of left him with very little in the tank, and that Aerodactyl just did a ton of damage with that Rock Slide.
Yeah.
And I think it crit on at least one of those two.
I believe so.
But it just did so much damage right there that Shane was able to kind of claw himself back into it a little bit, just because Aerodactyl and Sylveon were cleared off the field pretty quickly there. And I'm curious how Benny thinks that he should play around that because, I mean, the reason why Sylveon locked Hyper Beam is because it's the only single target move it has other than Quick Attack, and Quick Attack's not doing damage.
I kind of like the idea of swapping the Sylveon out here. A Basculegion, I think, is pretty wise. And I think that also...
Do you think just putting Basculegion in the lead and then Sylveon in the back?
Yeah, you got to bring Sylveon out because from my game when I played, I think, first off, Sneasler is 50-50. I didn't bring in... I had Garchomp, but again, I think Sneasler's better than Garchomp in this situation. Scovillain's not going to happen. So you got to bring out your Aerodactyl and your Basculegion and Sylveon. But the main thing for Sylveon is you have to... It is the primary Hyper Beam counter, and that Hyper Beam is, or Hyper Beam user, and that Hyper Beam is going to be able to stop Trick Room on for a draft. That is the big play there. Hyper Beam does so much onto the draft that if you can get rid of it, using that, it's really useful. And I kind of like the idea of leaving Basculegion Aerodactyl, put pressure on the opposing Aerodactyl, because now if Tailwind activates on Shane's side, he's got to commit to it, and your Aerodactyl is going to be faster than Sylveon. Good chance your Basculegion is going to be faster than Sylveon. So it puts in there, speaking of that lead, there it is.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Ooh, but it's going to be the Incin on the other end, so that is going to get the Intimidate on both of those Mons, which is pretty advantageous, and also threatening the Fake Out. Now, I believe that, I believe the calc is that Wave Crash still takes out Charizard in this range?
It depends on
or
how
is it
focused
close?
on Charizard. It's
Okay.
about 12% it survives with.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like if I were Benny right now, I'd just go Wave Crash into the Charizard and take the risk. Maybe even Mega Rock Slide, or swap it out into, like, if you have Sneasler, this is a good switch into Sneasler here. But I would just aim at that. Yeah, and Draft here, pretty good position. If you flip turn, you're in really good position to bring in your Sylveon. But I think, honestly, just get that Charizard out of the way. Deal with it later.
Well, and honestly, it's not a bad spot to Rock Slide here, so if it is like a flip turn Rock Slide, then okay, Aerodactyl will protect out the Fake Out turn.
That's fine, yeah.
And Charizard will protect as well, so it didn't really matter all that much at the end of the day, but it does mean that these two Pokemon are intimidated. Ooh, and it is flip turn into the Farigiraf, so a nice little call there at the very least to get Basculegion out of there and probably Sylveon on.
Yeah, this is where you bring in your Sylveon, 100%. It is...
Assuming it's there in the back for Benny.
It's gotta be, right?
I think it's gotta be. Unless it's Gambit, and even Gambit doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Unless you have Iron Head, which I know Benny's does not, but
yeah.
Iron Head would have helped a bit, so you could helped against the Sylveon on Shane's side, but yeah, this seems pretty safe here, if in my opinion. I think you bring out your Sylveon, you go for your Mega Rock Slide, Charizard goes down, you Hyper Voice that for a draft, and then and we're going to see Sneasler.
Ooh, Sneasler, okay. I mean, you can still Mega Rock Slide, and it will still get rid of Charizard, and at that point, you could Dire Claw into Farige, or even go for a close combat and see if that deals with it.
I like the Dire Claw here, actually. You know, what's...
Roll the dice on Dire Claw. I mean, you are still sashed as Sneasler. Like, you still have your sash active. You can kind of linger around a little bit and pivot, and... I mean, you're worried about the Incin in the back, but at the very least, you can get the Charizard off the field. You can kind of play it a little slow, knowing that it's Incin and Farigiraf.
The only thing I don't like about the Sneasler coming in is this exact situation, because you're not going to be affected by Intimidate if you brought out Sylveon. Now you're at -2 on Aerodactyl and -1 on Sneasler, and that's just not really ideal.
Wow.
And now you have Fake Out potential, which is really, really useful to set Trick Room up. And unless Benny called this one for close combat onto the former Charizard slot, now Incineroar, which I don't think is going to KO either, it's going to be an interesting one.
Oh, he did call it.
Very good call from Benny.
Oh, but didn't get the Incin there.
Also, a little bit interesting that we did not see Mega on the Aerodactyl.
I was interested in that as well. I have to assume it was a misclick. I don't know if there's any...
that or we're seeing Scovillain. No.
We're seeing like, I don't think there's any... I don't see a reason to bring out Scovillain, and in that case, I think it has to have been a misclick.
The only...
Which happens.
I mean, yeah, especially in this format, it's a little tough to remember to Mega.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing some Pokemon like Scovillain with just Mega in default.
Yeah.
But, I kind of like the idea of just If it's Scoville and you Leech Seed, you're Sylveon. But we were gonna see the switch into Sylveon.
Okay, there is the
that it
Sylveon. It's surprising that we didn't see it earlier in that case, but
another not.
ooh, we are gonna see the Rock Slide.
Only thing I can think of is it's to try and stop Citrus Berry on Giraffe, but
That's a good point.
you're not quite at that Citrus range there.
Yeah. Oh, got the flinch on the Rock Slide. That could be pretty significant. That could be pretty significant, especially with Instant off the field now. It's probably the Sylveon in the back. I mean, it's really awkward now. Even at -2, Rock Slide has to get rid of Charizard, right?
That is not necessarily, no. Charizard can still do quite a bit.
Okay, and it is Sylveon,
I'm
which honestly puts Aerodactyl in a decent spot to just switch out here.
Yeah, you gotta pretty switch out to whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of great options just because your team is so fast, but
I actually don't mind just switching back into Sneasler, go for your Hyper Beam into the Farigiraf, and then at that point, worst case is Farigiraf goes for that.
yeah.
And then you could just do it on the next turn while going for the Dire Claw. And
Wow, we're just clicking Rock Slide.
It flinches an absurd amount of times, so I frankly don't blame Benny here.
I get it, but also, man. And it is just the Hyper Voice. I don't dislike the Hyper Voice just because you do need damage at some point, and you're getting the Sylveon chipped pretty heavily. It does go Hyper Voice the other direction. Not a ton of damage that it's getting.
I still stand by the fact that I think Rock Slide plus the Hyper Beam into the opposing draft is correct, just based on how much damage I think.
And I wonder if that's the play this turn, now that the Protect's been burned.
The only thing is, you gotta watch out, because if you lose your Rock Slide, it's gonna be a little rough.
I
Especially,
mean, the thing is, you still have Basket Legion in the back.
that's the nice thing, yeah. And especially because you do
And
have
there's the
Rock Slide.
Aerodactyl finally switching out. Into the Sneasler, as we had mentioned.
It's gotta be Hyper Beam, right? There it is.
There's the Hyper Beam. Does it KO Farige?
At that range, I think it will. Yeah.
It does. It does. Hyper Beam's such a strong move. It's picked up 2 KOs this set, and that is the Farige going down as well. Sneasler will take a pretty significant chip from the Hyper Voice as well as the other Sylveon, but with just the Charizard and the Sylveon left on the field, it's pretty clean to bring back in the not immediately, but just let these Pokemon drop and then bring in the Aerodactyl later to win it.
Yeah, Aerodactyl Basket Legion kind of wins you the game here.
Yeah, there's not a lot that's stopping them.
I would just, go scout the Protect, see if the Sylveon's going to Protect on Shane's side, which it does, or detects, but still, that allows you to go for Dire Claw once
Are
that
you
comes
more
in.
of a Detector of Protect?
I go Detect whenever I can, just to avoid Imprison.
That makes sense.
Very, very rare occurrence that it does happen, but I've seen some with Imprison Protect for giraffes on this this format. So
I do agree with that.
Detect. Plus, it's fun to see Sylveon using a fighting move because it just feels out of character.
It is really fun, especially because otherwise all of your moves are fairy, because even Pixelate affects, like, technically affects the other moves now.
Trying to double Detect there, doesn't quite pull it off. Dire Claw does connect, and that leaves a lone Charizard on the field. I'm going to assume the Heat Wave comes out. If it connects on both, it should pick up both.
It'll absolutely pick up both.
Yeah.
Yup. But that means that there are 2 Pokemon faster than Charizard, both with one-hit KO moves on Charizard remaining. And I don't know that this Charizard is going to have an answer for either of them.
Yeah, no. Where's that Aerodactyl? Come on out.
There's the
now
Aerodactyl.
It can Mega.
Now it can Mega, and there's no downside to it. And
Definitely was the unnerve there, I think, on the reason that we didn't see it. Just thinking that you could whittle down the Farigiraf without having to use Hyper Beam as a last resort. But the Hyper Beam ended up connecting anyway, so there you go. But yeah, Mega Rock Slide, Last Respects, picks it up. I think if you're Shane, you're just thinking, all right, let me use the timer to see how I can improve on game 2. I feel like this is... I think Benny played really well. I think
I agree.
I think the 4 that were selected are the correct 4 in the right order. I do think Shane... I would drop the Ensign here. I know it's a little bit weird considering Intimidate's really solid into these 2, but I think that the Aerodactyl plays way more with the mind games because of Rock Slide. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the original 4 that Shane brought for game 3. We see that Aerodactyl, and that is why you need Wide Guard.
That's why the Wide Guard's useful. But even then, the Wide Guard doesn't save you from Wave Crash.
That's very true.
Yeah, I love the... It's so tough. It's just so tough, because I really do like the Ensign in this matchup just because it answers the Aerodactyl so well. Like, we saw the Aerodactyl was very reliant on the Rock Slide. I mean, even... I would say the game... The biggest swing points in this game were Benny launching the close combat into the Ensign and getting the damage there, and then also the Rock Slide flinch on the Forage when it might have been going for a Trick Room on a turn that the Sylveon could have come back in, and at that point Shane would have been in a really nice spot. And I don't really know, and even like, I think you just need to do whatever you can to get Trick Room with some consistency, especially seeing these 4 from Benny.
Yeah.
Just because Arrow, Basque, and Sneasler are so fast that even Charizard is very comfortable in Trick Room, especially knowing that, I mean, you're not taking that much damage from Sylveon.
And not to mention the fact that your Sylveon, if you're Shane, you eat the Sylveon hits, and you could go first. If you feel like Sylveon's more of a threat, you can Hyper Beam, because if you're playing a slower Sylveon, which I assume Shane is going to be slower than Benny here. Benny's here. You have complete control over the match there. Not to mention you could double Hyper Voice into really anything that's not Basculegion, but Basculegion can't really touch you, especially in the sun. So it's a bit of a weird position, basically, where it's like knock out the Giraffe and keep your speed control. But I also think that the Wide Guard on Aerodactyl is just very useful. I think it's just a really good,
I do agree.
Really, really useful. So it's like Ensign, Arrow.
What if you bring 5 Mons?
Some sort of Aerodactyl Incineroar hybrid.
Science has gone too far.
The old Amber restoration didn't quite work well.
Old Amber got mixed with some of Incineroar's fur.
It's gonna be like a Gen 8 fossil. Yeah, Basculegion Aerodactyl lead once again on Benny's side, and we're going to see Charizard and Incineroar. So Incineroar is the selection for Shane.
I like these leads from both sides. I really do. I think they're probably ideal for both these players, but at the same time, it does mean that Charizard is going to feel a little strange early on. I mean, honestly, you could...
I kind of have an interesting play. Fake out onto the Arrow.
Yeah.
And
Arrow
Solar Beam. Because you live, I assume, King Gambit coming out.
Ooh, Gambit. That's really interesting. Maybe saying, okay, you are going to go for incredibly aggressive Trick Room this time, and I am going to do this against you. Charizard will Mega. We'll see if it protects. If it doesn't, then this could be a really interesting turn.
Yeah, you kind of need to go for the Solar Beam here. Maybe there might be a flip turn incoming, but still, it's going to do solid into anything. Oh,
okay, that's fair. And we'll see if there is the flip turn from the Basculegion here. It is the flip turn. It does land onto... I mean, it was certain to tag the Incineroar, but...
And it is Aerodactyl, which is really nice here because that for a drop in a really rough spot.
Yeah, this is actually really miserable for Shane right now.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
I think there's something that you could try, but it's very risky. I think you gotta go for... You gotta bring your Incineroar back in.
I agree with that. I think that's the only possible answer, but it's so bad. And you have to bring in Incin and Protect or something.
I think Protect onto, or go into Sylveon and protect your Farigiraf. Actually, I like that better because
that's an option.
Not much that you just kind of play your Trick Room mode. This King Gambit can't really do much to Sylveon. It's only got dark moves. And Aerodactyl.
Ooh. Maybe it's a double switch.
But we're going to see, I would not
see Incin come in.
To that as well.
Gonna get the Intimidate.
And the Defiant Boost.
There is that Defiant Boost. Oh, no switch on the Charizard. I'm interested.
I kind of see it.
I'm interested.
You sacrifice your Charizard, set up your Trick Room, and then you can start sweeping from there. I think.
Unless Rock Slide misses. It misses Incin.
That's still going to help. Still going to help.
And Charizard does take it. Because of the Intimidate, it's able to take it. Now, does Heat Wave come out? No, it flinches! Oh, no! And the Kowtow is going to close it out. Oh! Charizard flinches.
Well,
it could have been a really big turn. This isn't over for Shane, but it is a lot more difficult after making a call like that and not really having the opportunity to play with it.
It's an interesting choice, too, because you got to take a risk. Do you think you're faster or slower than that King Gambit? If you call it correct, you could go straight Flare Blitz in the sun with Charcoal. It does not live it.
Absolutely. I think you go for that.
I think you go for it right now, but the question is
there's
the
no
Gambit
way that this is an Ensign that's slower than a Gambit. I mean, the thing is, Gambit...
It depends. It depends on if you think the Gambit's going to be faster.
The thing is, if the Gambit protects, you can still get your Trick Room up with Fridge, and then...
You lose your Furry.
Well, then you get to protect it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very true. I think that's just the play. I think that's the play is you just Flare Blitz into that King Gambit and...
Yeah, and I guess I'm probably underrating the Rock Slide here, especially because it's going to double flinch. That did a lot for it. Okay, because it crit. Okay,
great.
I was going to say, that did a lot of damage. And that does mean Fridge gets to eat its citrus, which might matter.
Oh!
And it flinches the Ensign!
The actual
Another flinch! Oh no, Benny's shaking his head. He knows that is a lot. I mean, that's what happens. It's Pokemon, and that'll be it.
Benny Vasquez with the flinch takes home the championship.
Incredible. I mean, Benny's such an incredible player. He knows his outs well.
Oh.
He knows how to play this team.
Oh.
And the Rock Slide was the right choice in both of those cases. It did a ton of damage to the Charizard. It did a pretty significant amount of damage to the Ensign. But man, those flinches were tough. Those flinches were real tough.
When in doubt, you Rock Slide it out. That's that. And Aerodactyl, insane. I mean, absolutely insane. That is a heck of a team. And I just want to point out, 8-0. Benny, undefeated.
Hi,
a wild Abu appeared.
Sorry, that's the only reaction I have to
But that will be it for us today, I think.
Yes.
We'll be back here on July 18th, I believe, for our next Pokemon Champions friendly tournament. It'll probably be the next format.
Yeah, probably Regulation M-B. I think that's what it's been confirmed.
Yeah, but there will probably be people here prepping for Worlds. A lot of people with their invites.
A lot of people here for NAIC as well. Keep an eye out on SoCal players.
That by itself, definitely. I want... Clear out duplicate teams in your in champions for you. You will get like straight up DQ'd if you don't do that. Be sure to clear out your duplicate teams because that is going to be bad for you. Judges have told me. Judges will keep telling you, be sure to clear out your duplicate teams. There's no reason to have duplicate teams in general. Just clear them out. Yeah. Thanks to Taryn and Miguel running the tournament. Thank you to Troy on the stream. Thank you to everyone who is on stream today, who I will name all of them. Lucy, Jose,
there's Lucy,
Abu, Ty, Garrett, and you, Arnie. Thank you to everyone. It was a real team effort.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.
As well.
Honestly, Lucy ended up doing more rounds than I did today. She was the real trooper.
Round of applause.
I really should.
But in any case, that will be it for us. We will see you in a month.
Yeah.
Have a good one.